Hey guys, so today I have an art curriculum to share with you that I am very excited about. This is going to be the art curriculum we use this year in our homeschool. You're probably going to be seeing it a lot on Instagram and Facebook because of that, and I'm really excited to share it with y'all. So this is Yellow Spot Sun. I have two bundles to show you. They have this one, Drawing Americana, and they have this one, Color Theory with the Impressionists. So if you are a classical style of homeschool or a Charlotte Mason method, I think you will especially enjoy these different bundles. But honestly, anybody who's looking for an art curriculum, lessons, not just crafting, this is the best thing I've seen so far. So first of all, I have to say that I've been on a hunt for art curriculum for a long time because I am nowhere near an artist. I mean, I'm a struggling scrapbooker. That's about where I'm at. So as far as being able to give my kids any good information or even to guide them with some of the curriculum that I've found, it's pretty much been something that gets shoved off of our plate at the beginning of each school year. So when I was at the homeschool convention 2 years ago with my girlfriends, we were looking for art curriculum and we really couldn't find anything that was affordable. Because as moms who aren't very, I guess, artistically inclined ourselves, it's kind of hard to want to pay hundreds of dollars for an art curriculum when it's not something that is really necessarily your cup of tea, I guess I would say. I want it to be my cup of tea, but it's just not. It's just not my gifting. So we were all talking about how it's just been hard to find a good art curriculum. Flash forward to this convention, this school year, I was approached by the lady who actually wrote this curriculum, and she gave this to me to review for you guys, and I seriously could not be more thrilled to have found this. So I'm going to jump right into it. They have two different bundles you can buy, and she's actually creating a new one right now that's going to be out soon. I just saw on her Facebook page. That new one is going to be called, I have it written down here, Art Through the Eyes of the American Woman. So look for that one on their Facebook page for when that's available, and I will share that on my Facebook page as well when it's available. So this Drawing Americana bundle is, I think it's $29.95, yes, and it's a 6-week bundle, but to be honest with you, we're going to be stretching it out a lot longer than 6 weeks because that is with a daily lesson. Now the lessons are not very long. They're video lessons. When you buy the curriculum, you're basically purchasing an online, it's all online. You print everything offline and you watch the video lessons online. None of the lessons are really much longer than 10 minutes. They're all between 5 and 10 minutes except for the final art project that week. But they're all pretty much between the 5 and 10 minute mark, so it's very doable if you want to do it every single day. We don't happen to have a 5-day-a-week school week, so we will not be doing it every single day. I think I'm going to stretch each lesson out to be between 2 and 3 weeks for my kids, and that's because we do follow the Charlotte Mason method as far as doing picture study. And so each week is, not only is it a different technique that they're learning, but it's a different artist they're learning about, and they get a chance to look at that artist's works. And so if you're familiar with picture study, you know that you hang an image in your classroom for them to just look at and appreciate every single day. And so for that reason, I'll probably hang some artwork from each artist for a week or two at a time and switch it to the next one, just so they get a chance to be admiring their artwork as well as studying the artist and their techniques. So I'm going to be stretching it out a little bit. So basically, there's this one, and then there's Color Theory with the Impressionists. Now this one is a 4-week bundle, but it's more in depth. I would say that I'll probably stretch it to be about as long as this one at the end of, at the end of the day. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to start with this Drawing Americana. So this was created by a homeschooling mom. She is an artist. She's an amazing artist, actually. When you see in the videos the ease that she creates these pieces with on her own, you'll be very impressed, but it's done in such a way that's just so achievable for our kids and so encouraging. It is affordable. Like I said, this one is $29.95. no, this one is $29.95. This one's $34.95, or vice versa. You'll have to look online. I don't know which one was which. 10% of that cost goes to a charity that they've chosen, which I think is awesome. If you don't want to purchase the entire bundle, you can purchase each week on its own, which is the 5 lessons for $8. Now, if you purchase the bundle, it's unlimited. You can download it. You have unlimited access to their webpage with all the video instructions. It never expires. If you purchase the 1 week at a time lesson, it's $8. And you have 30 days to complete that 1 week lesson. So I would of course suggest purchasing the bundle, because then you can print it and just use it for years to come for multiple children. But if you just want to try it out, go ahead and buy 1 week and see if it works out for you guys. Once you've completed these bundles, she's also doing something called Fine Art Friday, where she does it's a free lesson, and I believe it's done every single Friday. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But she does a drawing each Friday for your kids to do and follow along. So if you do just do both of these bundles and say you get through it in 10 weeks, you can continue to follow her free art lessons for the rest of the school year. And while you can go do the free ones as is right now before you complete this, I would definitely suggest doing this, because she's using the information that the kids have learned from these bundles to create those free lessons. So if you really want your kids to get the most out of it, definitely go through one of these bundles. Like I said, it's 5 days long, and you print this yourself. So on the for example, with the color theory with the Impressionist, here's a sample schedule. On day 1, you watch her color theory video, and you do a small sketchbook exercise, which is included in here. On day 2, you do a history of the artist that you're studying, and you learn how to critique. So at the beginning of the bundle, she teaches you in a video how to critique the artwork, and then you use that same method to critique each piece each week. And you also do a sketchbook, a day 2 sketchbook project. Day 3, Wednesday, you watch an elements video, and you do sketchbook day 3. On Thursday, you do a painting project, and you do sketchbook day 4. The painting project for this, it says it takes 30 to 45 minutes to complete. And then on Friday, you do a sketchbook demonstration, and that is also a video lesson. So 5 days a week are a video lesson. On that history and critique, it is not a video lesson. It's done in an interesting way though. She has it listed either as bullet points, information about that author, or sometimes she gives you questions artist, not author. Sometimes she gives you questions to fill in about that artist, and they kind of go off on a information scavenger hunt on their own. So it teaches them how to research these artists, which is good knowledge to have for all future art projects and artist studies. So because most people I think would be familiar with Van Gogh, and because that's the artist that we've pretty much struggled through the entire last school year, I'm going to show you what that would look like. So that week they'll be learning about complementary colors, and they will be drawing large flowers in these boxes, and they watch a video for a demonstration. We use colored pencils to fill in each box with one set of complementary colors. Okay. Then here's day 2, which is the page that they use to critique, and then they draw and color the Van Gogh painting they critiqued up here, and here's the information about him. Here's the sketchbook warm-up for day 1, which is okay, so they go outside, they draw birds. It could be one bird from 4 different angles or 4 different birds. That's their little sketchbook warm-up. Day 2, they work on angled lines. Day 3, they do cross-hatching. Day 4, flora designs. And then day 5 is when they together work on video, they work on doing a project together here. At the end of each one of these bundles, there's a certificate of completion, which is really nice if you need that for your portfolios. And also, you can post your work online on her Facebook or on Instagram, and she said that she will encourage your kids and respond to their artwork. So if your kids really want to hear from their teacher, that's a really cool component of this curriculum is that she says she'll respond. So what I really like about this for my kids, because my kids are younger now, this curriculum is geared specifically for kids in elementary and middle school, but because my kids are on the younger side of it, the elementary age range there, what I really like is that all of the things that would typically be boring to them, the history of the artist and critiquing the artwork, through all of that, she's managed to make it so that they're getting to hold a pencil or a paintbrush every single day and just do a little something to practice what they're learning, and it engages them and it includes them, and they don't just feel like they're sitting there learning a lesson, and it makes it really interesting and it brings a lot of life to what they're learning. And so for someone like me, I completely appreciate that, because as somebody who has no art background, I could sit there and I could read you dry information out of a book any day, but I wouldn't know how to tell them to grab a pencil and do something fun with that. I wouldn't know to say, oh, well, go outside and look at 4 different birds. I would just pull up a picture and print it and be like, here's the bird. So I really appreciate that all the work is completely done for me, and that it's done in an interesting way that is going to truly engage my kids. And these are, at the end of this, they have learned complete lessons. They have not just done crafts. They have done, they've learned this information, they've applied it, they've done it their own way, not just the way the artist has done it. They kind of get to try their hand at it. And that's really going to help it stick with them in the long term versus, you know, looking at a picture of Starry Night and then trying to recreate it themselves. And the reason I say that is because I did that last year. I looked at Starry Night, I gave them some, like some Q-tips and paints, and I was like, do Starry Night. And, you know, they're kids, so they can look at it and they can recreate it. But they didn't learn about complementary colors, and they didn't learn about all these lines and angles. And that's important for them to learn. And because they're learning all that information and they're also getting to every day apply it a little bit, it's really going to stick with them in the long term. In the beginning of this, she teaches your children how to gather their art supplies and how to keep them in one place, and so that it's easy to kind of pull it out when necessary. And throughout the video, she'll say, okay, now pause the video and go grab your watercolor pencils, or pause the video and go grab your Sharpie markers. So again, that's just one more element of work taken off of my shoulders as a mom. I can put this in front of them, I can press play, and she's going to instruct them on when to gather supplies, and I don't need to be running around and listening for the keywords like, oh, did she say Sharpie? Oh, guys, here's a Sharpie. She says, okay, now pause the video and go grab your Sharpie, and I'll see you in a moment. And I really appreciate that. She is so encouraging. I just have to say, I could sit there, and I did. I just listened to so many of her lessons as I was getting ready to do this review. And she's so encouraging that I am actually going to be doing this with my kids. I guess you're never too old to learn. I actually felt like this is something that I can do along with them, and that I won't feel like I'm doing, you know, a young child's curriculum, because you know, it's a lot of, you know, you do it your own way. And so I feel like, okay, as an adult, I can sit there with my kids and I can learn this with them, and I can try my own hand at some things. But what's really funny to me, I wrote down some of these things that she said a few times, because as a mom, if you're moms and you're watching this, you're really going to appreciate this. When I've put art videos on for my kids before, just little drawing lessons, I've had to say things like, oh, don't touch that, or don't do that, it's okay if you mess up. And I just thought it was really funny. You can really tell she's a mom, because the way she communicates to your children through the video, you can tell that she has done this a time or two. So she said some things like, it's the process, not perfection. It's okay to mess up. And then she'll say, okay, now she'll start to draw and she'll go, okay, now watch first and then it's your turn, which I love, because I have had to stop so many, you know, little YouTube videos and say, okay, just watch her do it first, then I'll rewind it and then you can do your turn. So that was funny, because she said it before I had to say it, and I really appreciate that. She'll mention time and time again to take your time. At one point she was using a fine point Sharpie, and she reminded the kids to not press too hard so they don't ruin the pen, which I loved that. That was really nice. I won't have to shout that from another room. And then, like I said, she tells your kids when to gather the supplies, which which gives them a little bit more of independence to complete the lessons if I'm not sitting alongside of them. So I showed you a little bit about the color theory one. I'm going to show you a little bit in the Drawing Americana one. This is the first one that we're going to do. To me seemed like this was a little bit more of a basic bundle than this. I would just, for my kids, I can tell that they will respond better to this one first and then they'll move on to this one, because I showed you that in the color theory bundle, there's a couple of things they're doing every day. The Drawing Americana one is a little bit less time consuming. Their 5-day program here is on Monday they watch a drawing technique video. On Tuesday they do that critique. On Wednesday they practice in the style of the artist. On Thursday there's more practice in the style of the artist. And on Friday they do a final drawing project. So it's a little bit more direct for the kids instead of, you know, watching a video, gathering supplies, doing this, and doing the sketchbook. I think this is a really great place for us to start. So I'm going to show you, let's see, I'm going to show you the oils with John James Audubon. If you do classical conversations, then you will be familiar with oils. Also, I want to mention that the list of supplies is very simple. For example, with the Drawing Americana, pencils, erasers, colored pencils, markers, Sharpies, oil pastels, chalk pastels, paper towels, an apron, foam board, painter's tape, scissors, and drawing paper or cardstock. So most of those things you probably already have around. Okay, I have a baby who's about to lose it, so I'm going to try to finish this up real quick. So here is week 1, day 1. They learn to draw with oils. Like I said, if you're familiar with classical conversation, or if you go to classical conversations, you are already familiar with oils. So they do that day 1. They draw with oils while she's explaining it on video. Day 2, they do a critique from one of John James Audubon's eagle paintings. Also on day 2, they draw their own version of this. And this is what I'm talking about when I say that she gives them a website to kind of answer the questions, like a little scavenger hunt. She sends them to a website to answer the questions below. The answers are found in the back of the book. So how many birds did he draw and paint for his book? He spent how many years creating this book, etc. So they kind of have to read the information to find that on their own. Day 3, they do a bald eagle with basic shapes. Now I watched this one, and this is the one that I attempted myself when I decided that I could actually do this curriculum with them. So they do that with her in the video. Day 4 is your turn to do it on your own, and this is a great, let's see, add an environment such as trees, water, mountains to the background. This is great practice for your final project that you do together the next day. And the next day is that 30-minute long final project. Now she's mentioned more than once that if the 5-day doesn't work for you, you can stretch it out as long as you need to. And for my kids, just because they're younger, I would suggest if you have younger kids as well, to go ahead and stretch it out. Give them a couple of times to practice a couple of the techniques before you move on. Or you can go through the whole thing and then do it again to see how far they've progressed, see if their patience level or their skills or abilities have improved over the 6 weeks or the 4 weeks or however long it takes you. So that is the information I have to share. Now I'm going to put a video below of her explaining her curriculum, how it started, why she created this, and all of that. You kind of get a chance to meet her a little bit. I'm also going to put a link to her Facebook page below so that you can follow the Yellow Spot Sign Facebook page if you want to see any of those extra free lessons that she has that come up there. Now in the title and at the beginning of this video, I told you I have a announcement. Sorry, I can hear the baby, so I've got to get this done. I had an announcement at the end of this video, and that announcement is that I couldn't decide between doing Vlogust or Vlogtober or Vlogmas again this year, and I kind of just ruled out Vlogust completely because it is going to be the beginning of our school year, and that's a lot to take on, but I decided that next week I'm going to do a back to school week. So 7 days, 7 videos, all themed. with back to homeschool videos. So our curriculum choices, our schedule, things like that. So go ahead and comment below if you have a video request for that, and follow along on my Facebook page for some updates and some questions I may have for y'all as that week approaches. So I hope that you guys go to Yellow Spot Sun's website, check out these art bundles, at least try the 1 week if you're unsure, but I guarantee you that if you are not very comfortable teaching art to your kids, which very few of us are, I guarantee that you are going to love this curriculum. So thank you, Yellow Spot Sun, for providing me a copy of this for review, and I look forward to our school year using these bundles. See you guys. Bye.